Dewey's last day in Colorado, coming back from his trip to South America. We're out here with the Ibex 450 and the CRF. I'm gonna get a little taste of dirt with both bikes. Substantial difference, 2-cylinder, 1-cylinder, 450, 250, as well as weight. I was really curious how these two perform compared to each other. We're gonna ask Dewey a few questions on why he went with the 250 instead of a 300. And this actually wasn't his first choice of bike for the long trip. You actually started with a DR650?
Started with a DR650, and that one's the one that was stolen in Mexico. And then I came back and I was looking for a budget-friendly bike that I thought would do the trip and survive. And it was also small enough for me to be able to pick up if I drop it on my own. That's important. If I'm on a big bike and I drop it, I'm in trouble by myself. So the list was pretty short, and I found a really good deal on a 250 Rally, and they were significantly cheaper than the 300, which is why I ended up going with the 250 over the 300. I think the extra power of the 300 is nice, but at the price point, these are
It was substantial, right?
It was very substantial. Yeah. It was several $1,000s difference for a used bike between the 250 and the 300.
So if you're wondering if you can do long distance travel on a 250, you definitely can. Dewey survived the trip.
Yes, mostly intact.
You had one issue about halfway through the trip?
Yeah, at about 25,000 miles, the spring inside of the cam chain tensioner broke, but that was a very easy fix, and I was able to source the part. You know, they don't sell that part. Well, they don't sell this bike globally. It was North America, Europe, and Japan only, I believe. Don't quote me. Honda, though, used that same cam chain tensioner in multiple motorcycles all around the globe. So they were able to source one and had one in stock at a small dealer in a small city.
Besides the chain cam tensioner, oil changes, basic maintenance stuff.
Yeah,
not too much.
That was really it. Was oil changes, chains and sprockets when they wore out, tires.
Dewey was telling me he was looking at a 450 as well, but the oil service intervals are crazy, like every 800 miles.
Yeah, I believe it's under 1,000 miles that you have to do an oil change on the 450.
What's the interval on this one?
4,000.
4,000?
I do it every 3,000 or so just to stay on top of it because it's easy. So these are two budget-friendly and beginner-friendly motorcycles, but they are different. We have a lighter motorcycle. This is about 325 pounds wet. We're going to hamstring it, and I'm making Tomek ride it with some luggage and some gear so he gets an idea of it as an adventure bike.
Let me mention, you did upgrade to a Rally Raid suspension as well.
Yes, it is upgraded suspension. It's full Rally Raid. It's the cartridge kit in the forks, the shock, and the springs. And then the Ibex is heavier, but more power, multiple cylinders, better tires for these conditions. So
right.
Yeah, I think you're going to have a fun ride.
About 100 pounds more on this bike, but a substantial power gain as well. Let's hit some dirt. This is the Shinko E705 on the rear. This is a Metzler in the front. Definitely more of a street tire. The CRF250 has seen over 19 countries. Dewey has some great videos out of the trip on YouTube. I will throw a link down his YouTube channel down below. Probably gonna have to have first gear going up that hill climb. Yep, first gear. It did not like second. I just have quite a bit of luggage on here. Suspension feels good. Here we go. I'm in second right now. To go down to first. tires are not the best. They're a bit more street oriented. Let's get back down to the pavement and get a taste of the acceleration of this bike. Still very manageable off-road, even with the huge bags in the back. I'm sure with the suspension upgrade, it made a huge difference. Back on the pavement. First, second, third, fourth. Woo! So a good little stretch with some whoops. Here we go, same ride, same loop with the Ibex 450. The power difference is substantial. I also have the big bags in the back throwing me off a bit. You know, surprisingly, with the numbers on paper, this bike does not feel as heavy as it really is. It just carries its weight very well. Here we go. First, second, third, fourth.
Well, Tomek, you just rode both motorcycles. What are your initial thoughts?
The first thing off the bat, substantial power difference. The Ibex has quite a bit more ponies, and just the pulls up those hills were drastic between the Honda and the CFMoto. I had to click back into first to get up some of those steeper grades with the 250. Another big difference, suspension, but that's not really a fair comparison. This is a stock suspension. This is an aftermarket suspension. I'm really hoping to get a tractive suspension on the Ibex in the near future. That would make the Ibex a killer bike off-road, a suspension upgrade.
So if you had to pick one to take on a BDR, which one would you pick?
Oh gosh, I'm definitely more of a power guy, so I want to go fast everywhere. I would definitely take the Ibex.
If you had to choose one to take around the world, which one would it be?
Oh gosh, that's a tough one. Here we have proven reliability from Honda, and here we have something that puts a grin on my face when I pull on the throttle, when I twist the throttle. I would have to at least have a 450 Honda. But like Dewey was saying, those service intervals on the one you're looking at, the L, it was
Yeah,
the 450L.
The 450L, but they make a big bore kit for the 300 too.
How about you, Dewey? Was there enough power for you on your trip?
Most of the time, yes. I'm not as hard of a charger off-road as Tomek is. So for me, just putting along and doing it at a reasonable pace, this was enough for me. There were a few climbs that I did where I wished that I had more power to click it up one more gear, but they were only the steepest of the climbs that I did.
Dewey, you had some street time on the Ibex a couple days ago, and a little bit of dirt.
In a little bit, yeah.
What are your thoughts between these two bikes for a beginner?
I like the power of this if you're doing predominantly street riding, especially in the United States. The power's nice. This is underpowered for trying to do highway speeds, if I'm honest. I've done it. I rode across the US on the interstate, and it can do it, but it's not ideal. Couldn't get the traction control off, or I didn't know to turn the traction control off when I did take this on the dirt, and it was very intrusive. It is not an off-road type traction control. And that it really hindered me trying to go up a hill actually with it on the corrugation. It just cut out the whole time. I was clutching, trying to get the traction control to shut off. So that's something to be aware of, because if you're learning on dirt, you either have too obtrusive or completely off, and it's up to you to control the power. This is a little bit more controllable for a real beginner because the power is less off-road. I think no matter what you do, you can't go wrong. I think they're both fantastic ways for somebody to get in on a budget.
Right.
I think both of them you're going to have to do some slight modifications to make them really, really what you want, but you're going to pay one way or the other.
Well, Dewey, thanks for doing the short video with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. I've appreciated it, and thanks for letting me ride your bike.
Catch you guys in the next one.